Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Year of the Snake. Um, this is the first meeting um, that we're holding where I'm apparently the president. So thank you for all the support. I do want to reiterate some words that we actually put on the website, in the New York Chin Society website. Um, and I'll just read it here. Dear esteemed members, friends, and supporters, it is with great joy and excitement that I welcome you to a new year with the New York Chin Society as its fifth president. From where we stand and as we look towards the future, we are reminded of the rich cultural heritage that our beloved Guqing represents and the unique role our society plays in preserving, promoting, and sharing this profound art form with the world. The coming year promises to be one of continued creativity, collaboration, and growth, and during a vibrant community tradition and new ideas can be embraced, a harmony in a manner that provides opportunities for all members. Whether you are a seasoned musician, a newcomer, or simply a lover of this wonderful art form, there is a place for you here. 2025 is a significant year for the Qin tradition, one that has two oldest surviving Ming Dynasty handbooks, the Shenqi Mihu of 1425 and Xilu Tang Xingtong of 1525, celebrating 600 and 500 years of since their publication, respectively. As such, the Society is in active discussion and planning phases in regards to holding the celebration to commemorate this momentous year. 2025 serves as a poignant reminder of not only the legacy of the Qin's deep roots, but also the Society's role in helping to maintain and transmit this ancient tradition for the future generations. We plan to have many exciting events for the year ahead, from concerts to workshops, perhaps, and gatherings with artists, scholars, and musicians from across the globe. Online and offline, each of these initiatives is aimed at deepening our collective appreciation of the greater Chinese musical traditions, while honoring the Qin's ancient past in the present. I encourage each of you to actively participate, to share your passion, and to support one another as we work together to build a stronger, more inclusive, more dynamic society. Your involvement is key to our success, and together we can create a community where the Qin continues to inspire and resonate far and wide. So on behalf of the entire executive team, I look forward to an exciting year ahead and to seeing how we will grow and evolve as a society. Let us make 2025 and beyond a year of unforgettable music, memorable moments, and meaningful connections. Thank you all.
Are we going to toast?
Does everybody have their drinks in hand? Alcoholic or not?
I have my tea.
Oh, Luca has his wine. It's a little early for me, so I will be having tea. So I would, let's see, it's okay, not everybody has to drink something, right? Uni's still preparing hers.
Alan, you know, we can't see your face. You're not looking into the camera. And when you read your speech, I'm sorry, my sound is not very accurate. If Peo asked to have it
Are,
printed, that would really help. Thank you.
are you on your phone?
No, everyone else's voice is clear except yours. So,
Oh, I see. It must be here.
It is a little decent. Distant.
Distant. Okay, let me switch my input for now.
And I just realized that Alan and I use the same iron cup.
Okay, cheers. Oh, nice. Yours is
It is the same.
a completely black one.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
everybody.
Congratulations to Alan and Uni.
Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça? Oh.
I will switch.
Maybe you can come in and say that there too.
No.
Yes, when we're presenting the Ranchin project, I'll show it to you. Like, look, I'm just going to turn it like this. Yeah. Look.
No.
Your background's a bit blurred, Shinji, because of your settings, but okay.
I was going to show you.
Sinky,
I was
we
going to
can't
show
see
you
your-
something.
Oh, I see. Yeah, your background is
Blurred.
so we can't see anything.
You want me to not blur my background?
You can see my messy room and my desk.
You want to see my messy wall too, right? Okay, here we go. 1 second.
Yeah, Les, I'm still having trouble with. Well, we got an echo here somewhere. Anyway, I'm still having trouble with the live Zoom. I may fail today. I can't connect anymore. Connected. Anyway, I don't want to go into all the details, but it's failing. But I
Does
have.
Alan sound better now?
Alan? Did you send? Some people were waiting for the stream. Do you know who that might be?
The stream, the YouTube stream?
Yeah, there were a couple of people waiting on it. I can't get it to work. I don't know why.
Oh, I see. That's why they're
Yeah.
waiting for the stream.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it hasn't connected. Okay.
I'm gonna try and go right to YouTube directly. But did you advertise on Facebook anywhere or anything like that?
I did, yeah. And I
Okay.
checked Facebook. I don't see any.
If I can get it on YouTube, I'll put up something on Facebook.
Non, c'est parce que comme ça, c'est tout droit. Hein? Comme ça.
All right, I think I will start by, you know what, I'll play some Erhu for us. I'll play, here, Ralph, can you go ahead and, I think, mute
Here's my
everybody
drink.
else?
Yeah, look.
Okay, just a minute.
Do you have hot water?
All right. Okay, I think I'll play Liang Xiao. Just a really short, sweet piece that is, of course, related to Liang Xiao, which is, of course, the day before New Year's, right? Since we're already so much past that, I decided to play exactly the opposite. That was 梁霄. Thank you.
Beautiful.
What's the name of that one again, Alan?
梁霄.
Ah, okay.
All right. Let's see. All right, I will start with the chin. I'll be playing 梅花三弄. So 梅花三弄, this is, for the most part, 浮雪斋 and a little bit of 吴景瑞 style, so 吴门派. Oh, I see the YouTube live link. All right, great. All right, I might be a little rusty, but we'll see. Thank you. Excuse my hands, they're a little cold this morning.
Very beautiful.
Thank you. Let's see, who is next?
That
You're
would
all
be
set?
me. So if you want to make a segue.
Uni, go ahead and make your own segue.
All right then. So thank you, Alan, for the excellent performance. For me, it's a nice change of pace because I haven't been listening to your typical Chinese guqin music in a long while. I've been working with a lot of weird stuff recently. So hello everyone, as you all know, my name is Uni Yang, and I am your vice president for the New York Chin Society this term. It is my hope that this society will not only connect us as Chin players, students, and scholars in that we know of each other's presence, but that we regularly gather together to share the latest projects, our crazy ideas, seek for help, most importantly, and to hopefully forward the study of the Qin, because there is plenty of stuff to be studied. Since this is a new term, I would like to mark or symbolize the start of the era with the piece that I always do in order to rectify the airs a bit. And I would like to play 古风操. 古风操 is special to me in that I started learning the Qin because I was listening to Yao Bingyan's recording of it on the Lao Ba Zhang recorded on cassette way back when. And this was the piece that I really wanted to learn the Qin from. And I learned a few other pieces in the process trying to look for this piece, but I found the wrong score. So I actually found Qiu Xiao Bu Yue that way. So to me, they go hand in hand along with the Yao Bingyan version of Jiu Huang. So, 古风操 is a piece that you can find from the 太古神品 chapter of the 神奇密谱, and knockoffs of the 神奇密谱, such as 风轩玄品, would also contain the same score in there. The piece is set in standard tuning, I think even in Gong mode, so that makes it simple. And it is actually technically demanding, although it's a pretty short piece. And I like to use this as the A2 to test the Qin, whether it's really up to speed for playing. So here goes. Right. So that was 古风操. And since this is New Year's, I thought that it would be appropriate to play a New Year's piece. Originally, I was planning on playing something else from my research with the Japanese pieces, but then I came up with this one because A, it's easier, and it's more straightforward, and also I realized that Eten Raku is perhaps the most well received or most heard of piece of Japanese gagaku music, and it's usually played during New Year's in Japan. So I thought that I would play that instead. So let's see. Share screen. Before that, I would like to have a very quick presentation on this. So this is my latest research leading up to the score of that. I thought I would share what I would actually play as well. So, first of all, an explanation of how Japanese scales work. When we play a tuning or play a piece, we usually look for do, re, mi, so, la, your 宫商角徵羽 in the tuning, so that we know like which string or which tone is do, right? Well, the Japanese don't work this way. Instead of using do, re, mi, so, la or the gong scale, they actually use the shang scale for their default tuning. So they shift everything one tone to the side. So for standard tuning, it's actually their default string there is actually string 2 rather than string 3, which makes it rather interesting. So for example, standard tuning, in this case hyojo, is understood as the relative pitch on this line on the table here. So it's a little weird here because this one, hyojo, 平调, is using the higher pitched chin. So Yamagata Daini actually suggested that in order to play the Japanese 6 scales of gagaku properly, you need 2 chins. One is set to low pitch, and one is set to high pitch. So we have our standard instrument set to C, D, F, G, A, C, D. This instrument should be set a fourth higher. So it's F, G, B flat, C, D, F, G. So all the strings need to be raised a fourth. So if you find that to be too hard, you can sort of merge it in halfway. So I am using my instrument and tuning it to the Japanese pitch names D, E, G, A, B, D, E. And for the other instrument, you could really use silk strings for that one, and it would be like, let's see, A, B, C, D, E, A, B, like that. Anyway, so here you can see that they have a raised shang and a raised yu located on the first and third string. So 1, 3, 6. So it's just standard tuning, but if you play your strings starting from second string, and play 5 strings, this is their scale that they're using. Whereas us, we use this. So if you just shift your mindset a bit, that's basically how it works. With this mindset, because I'm working on the different scales, Peyo, you might be interested in this one. Because of how the absolute pitch requirements work in Yamagata system in emulating the different yayue or gagaku tunes, I found that the entry for Kotsuchikijo actually links up with a Wii mode tuning of on Rabin tuning. So when we're talking about the tuning for Yolan, because of the requirement for the Qingyu and Qingshang, the location of this actually is located on the 3rd and 5th string. So in other words, try playing your Yolan with a raised 5th string, Peyo. Because apparently there is evidence proving that this so-called manju tuning that Zhang Saibang was looking at before, he may have sort of misinterpreted that passage thinking it was the manjue tuning, which is slackened third string. But there's an important keyword that he may have missed, because the definition here is gong is on huangzhong, but then it's qi diao, which means when the actual mode begins, it uses the manjue mode in there. So when they're talking about the manjue, it's not actually the manjue from huangzhong, but from where the melody starts. And when you look at standard tuning, the melody starts on third string on the F. So in other words, the 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 instead of 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 then starts counting from string 3, not from string 1. So that's a major discovery I found on the side while working on this. And I don't really play Yolan, so you might want to experiment with this claim. Now, Eitenraku. So we can see here, the score that I'm using is a hand copy from the Taisho era, so around 1912 or so, working from scores from the 18th century. However, the person who's copied this using a fine liner pen probably doesn't really know Guxin, and there's a lot of ambiguities in here, because, for example, if you look at the... I sort of fixed this, but look at the last symbol, for example. This is original. There's a 错 movement here, and then there's a left-hand movement right on top. Normally, that means you would have to press both strings, but then they don't really make sense with the context of the whole piece front and back if you look at the 2 strings before that. And there's a lot of outside positions that look suspiciously that should be a 10. So there's a lot of places in this pencil or pen score that don't make sense when you put them together. What's more, the Japanese don't really look for perfect unisons or perfect octaves in harmony. Instead, they look for a lot of perfect fourths. So I'm going to play this, and you can see for yourself why it's difficult for a Chinese player used to looking for those perfect unisons or octaves suddenly have to work in a very different context. And note that ever since the Meiji period, you'll notice that Gagaku plays at an even slower pace than I do. So I'm actually playing this fast. But that's the discovery that I have been working on so far, and I could really use a lot of opinions and help in the upcoming days. Please do discuss what you've just heard, which of course sounds very different, now as well as on Facebook. So yeah, that's my presentation for now.
Thank you, Uni.
Thank you, Uni. That's fascinating.
I'll make a comment if the floor is open for that.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, it's something I've been thinking about more recently. I was listening to some Japanese biwa music, and just kind of thinking about how the rhythm in Japanese traditional music, uh, it lends itself really well to guqin, and I wonder if the way, I don't know, because the Japanese rhythm is very pronounced. Everything's very kind of severe, right? And I
It's
wonder
even
if,
more pronounced now because they play even slower,
okay.
like 16 times slower.
So I wonder if that was like, you know how, for example, matcha tea came from the Song Dynasty tea, right? And there was a lot of things, a lot of cultural sharing at the time. And so I wonder if that Japanese rhythm was influenced by the way that Chinese music was played at the time, and then Chinese music eventually became a little less severe, a little more sort of elegant, and if maybe kind of like with the matcha tea, uh, you know, if it's maybe a closer representation of the rhythmic style at the time. I don't know.
Sure, I think I can answer both on the tea front as well as the chin front. You see, matcha, as you or was originally known, is actually 煎茶, tencha, which is actually green tea ground up and then steamed, and then basically powderized that form. The stuff is like yellowish white, and it's absolutely bitter. You can still get them in China today, but they're usually made with like lower grade tea. They're worse than your confectionery grade matcha stuff. It tastes terrible. The umami stuff that's like fresh green that you see today is a distinctly Japanese process because they or the ones who developed the idea of using the shade over the leaves and to grind them while fresh, while removing all the veins of the leaf and so forth. So that's all Japanese innovation. Same thing with this music. When we say gagaku or ritsuryo no uta, the lulu ge right here, the scales do fundamentally come from Chinese systems. You can say that the yang lu is actually, as I was saying, the zhenggong mode, your standard tuning, but starting from string 2, is a yu mode. So your do re mi so la number 6 mode. But then and the lu mode, the ryo mode, is your standard gong scale. But to us, the gong scale is supposed to be the default, not the coming down return scale. So the Japanese sort of shifted the focus by one tone because that's what their culture before Chinese influence preferred. So they're imposing Chinese and, of course, Indian raga theory into their system and trying to build upon that. But in its fundamentals, it is something different because they were the ones who decided that our second mode, our second degree is their first. And that's what actually makes it so hard because we are so used to thinking that gong is number 1. But to them, shang is number 1. And we're not used to counting that way.
Yeah, what I was talking more really about is the rhythmic sensibility. Like, for example, if I play the beginning of Jingji Yin, like there's a kind of a severity to that, if you know what I mean. It's very like punchy, and it's like almost kind of like stabbing into the
Very
ear.
angular.
Mm-hmm. I should probably explain a bit about Yamagata's project here. It's actually a part of the, it's not imperial, it's shogunal. Back in the days of like when the Ming fell, and all the scholars and stuff brought their books and their people to Japan, the Japanese started a project of preserving Chinese culture, and they found that the stuff that they have in Japan was more original. And they started this nationalizing project, to which the 8th shogun, Tokugawa Yoshimune, started saying we needed to basically Japanify the Shin. And a bunch of people, including things like Ogyu Sorai and Zosan, were trying to do. And Yamagata is like after them. But his work is not that well known because he was tried for secession or conspiracy and he was executed. So this work is not really looked at until now. Seriously. Yeah. But that process of slowing down and emphasizing the beats is basically Japanese sensitivities on a Chinese system. Fundamental. But it's theirs now.
They own it.
All right. Oh, thank you. All right, let's see. We've got Andre. You are up next.
Yes, it's me. So I will share a video of OI because there is a construction going on next to my building. So I decided to record a video and for this presentation. And also this way I could provide a front-facing view of my instrument rather than the aerial perspective that I usually use for this. But anyway, you share just a second. I will play. Sorry, I forgot to share sound. Oh no, that's okay. Again. Share sound. Oh,
Thank you very much, Andre.
thank you. Here,
That was very
That's
nice.
great.
thank you. I chose this piece because it's a piece that I play for 4 years, almost five, and I think that's something that we can relate to a snake. It's not common to do this kind of association, but the fluence, I don't know, the resistance, the strength of water, the element water is kind of connected with snake qualities, and also it's very difficult to play. Not technically speaking, it's difficult, but the rhythm is very hard to accomplish, I believe, because it's not something that we can just play on the beat, right? But also we can, I don't know, escape the beat and follow the beat. So I found a very interesting piece to a very challenging piece. And so that's why I choose this. And thank you for
Also, the piece has a snake walking technique.
yeah, that's it. And that's why it's so hard to play, I believe. I studied the master, not study, but listen to the Quan Ping Hu playing in 6 minutes, very fast on beat, tack, tack, tack. Very interesting, but I try to, I don't know, incorporate some feeling, but more in a reflexive tone, more introspective. So this is a work in progress.
Could Teo or Andre, could you demonstrate what that snake movement is that Peo mentioned?
Maybe I don't know if Peo is talking about that, but the way you slide in and change strings
Ah,
like with tongue, like a snake, like a serpent, all like
yes.
this. It's hard to accomplish that, because our how can I say, our tendency is to cut the phrase in the middle if you don't have a right technique to pass one string to another, and this is very difficult to do. And we create a kind of, I don't know what to say, a comma between lines that's not so beautiful to hear. You see, it's very difficult. So anyway, I try to do my best and then changing strings and try to playing like a, how can I say, legato way.
Mhm.
It's very difficult on chin because you need to change the string and pluck the next string, but we need to do that in a soft way, soft manner, not to create accent and in the middle of the melody. That's the primary challenge for me. Anyway, that's it.
Yeah, the high joint technique. A lot of people, when they play high joint, because their sound is small, right? Their volume is small. They try to avoid that high joint sound, or they use
Right.
their nail to jump onto the next string. But then you would
Yes.
have to do that really quickly, and even if you were the fastest jumper in that instance, you would still have what you said, the comma, right?
Yes.
But you did that really well. It's the connection is it's lovely. Yeah.
Yeah. That's my point. My challenge for this year.
and
Play
your
smoothly.
and this sort of, I like to describe the jumping of rocks, right? This
Right. Yes.
and
This is very beautiful.
it's very beautiful. Yeah, it's very unique. Actually, it's a very special piece in the repertoire.
Yeah.
It's a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. Yeah.
It's a masterpiece, right?
Yeah.
And in this section, we need to my view. I don't know if I'm correct, but we need to press at least three strings at the same time. At least the fourth strings at the same time. You can blend them together, but it's not something easy to do without, I don't know, put too much force or pressure. It's very interesting. Very interesting. I love that. Thank you, Alan, for a comment.
Thank you, Andre.
Thank you.
All right. Ralph, would you I think Ralph is going to
Okay,
talk
it's my
about
turn next.
yeah.
Let me share my presentation here. And A few people have seen at least a version of this before, but I think most people have not. Can you see it now? Can you see what I'm sharing?
Yes, yeah,
Yes.
we see
Okay.
your desktop.
So I'm just talking, I happen to be doing shadow puppets this week, so I figured I'd just share it with you a little bit. We're allowed to do, it doesn't have to be Guqin every second, you know. Anyway, so Chinese shadow puppets, they're ancient. You know, what are they? They're carved out of leather. Traditionally it was donkey leather, believe it or not. And they used oil lamps to, you know, to put the shadows onto a darkened screen. And they had, you know, the stories often had some religious overtones. But nowadays, you know, first of all, in China, shadow puppets are really in trouble. They're not quite gone, but they're really in trouble. But nowadays, they spice them up a little bit because they have to compete with iPads and all sorts of horrible things. So they've been around since at least the Song, maybe later. And like I just said, it's in steep decline. And in Indonesia, they're doing pretty well, although there's trouble there too, but much more in Indonesia. But they still surviving in China. So there have been some performances. A few years ago, I went to see Wu Man, you know, the famous pipa player, and she had a troupe of shadow puppet people in, I think it was Town Hall I went to, and I think that might be the link here. This is several years ago, so I don't quite remember. But I actually hang around with these other guys here, the Chinese theater work people. I'm going to be talking about them a little bit more, but you can see some of their material at this link. They have performances all the time in New York, and then they're just playing examples of Chinese shadow puppets on these YouTube links. You can look at them if you want. So I wanted to pitch this one too because it's happening right at the moment in Flushing, which is really a New York Chinatown nowadays in Queens, New York. China Theater Works is showing has a gallery full of their shadow puppets. This is actually unusual. They have Chinese Theater Works, Pauline Benton. Anyway, it's a long story. Pauline Benton passed down her shadow puppets to two people, and now Chinese Theater Works are the people who have them. And she went to China long ago and had a whole set of puppets made for her, and they're stored in a warehouse in Long Island City, New York. But usually it's hard to get into that warehouse. Occasionally they have tours of it, but they're having a public demonstration of them in a gallery in Flushing Town Hall. So I know a lot of you aren't there, but if you happen to be in New York, this is a swell thing to go to, and it's going to be there till February 23rd. It's unusual. So what about me? So I was inspired by when I had grandkids. I wanted to do things with them, and I found some old shadow puppet stuff I had. It wasn't particularly Chinese, but it inspired me to learn about Chinese shadow puppets, and I spent some time understanding things. And let's see now. I think, oh, okay. I have to go back and forth here. Give me a second. I'm going to unshare and then go share again for one more slide later. So this is the demo portion here. Let me get rid of my blur. Get rid of blur. Okay. You can see my messy, pardon my messy room. But anyway, to show the puppets, you need to see a little better. So this one I bought online. You can get these on eBay. There aren't too many, but this particularly Journey to the West, I'm a big Journey to the West fan. And here's the Monkey King from the Journey to the West. But they're expensive, and I wanted to make some of my own. And since I don't have any too many donkeys around, I decided to improvise a little bit. So the way I do it is the Chinese Theater Works do it differently. What they do is they make puppets out of plastic sheets, but they put them on old-fashioned slide projector and project them that way. I like the idea of doing it more old-fashioned, you know, where you have a regular screen and you're behind the screen. So I did it my way, and it's a little different. So I'll just show you a few. So what I do is I get they have transparent. You can use an inkjet printer to print on transparencies. So I do that, and then that's not quite firm enough. So then I tie them onto plastic sheets, and I make these puppets, right? again, this is really anyway. So this is an official Chinese nine-tailed fox. I don't know how many of you guys know about nine-tailed foxes, but I've been told it's ancient and wonderful. But here's one here. You don't see these every day, so here it is running across your screen for Chinese
Thank
value.
you, Ralph. It's great.
And then I got a few other ones here.
We didn't know you had this talent.
And here it is. Here's a Chinese phoenix.
That's really beautiful.
And let's see. I'll go. Everybody likes this one. I'll do this one here. This is last year. I
Yes.
didn't make a snake yet. Sorry. I should have made a snake, but I don't have one. But this is
a
last
little-
year's New Year
little
working
snake.
by.
A little dragon is a snake.
Yeah, it could be. It looks like a snake. But I do some crazy things of my own, and this is really at my granddaughter. This isn't so Chinese, but here's a black unicorn. You don't get to see these every day.
Do you have a class? What is it that you said you were?
The Chinese Theater Works have a lot of presentations, and sometimes they also have workshops where to be honest, it's mostly for kids. But you go there and you can make shadow puppets with them, and they have lots of shows. Almost every week they have a show. Often it's in a school or a library. But in New York, they're very active. There aren't too many active shadow puppet guys. There are a few around the U.S., but not many, and particularly not many Chinese shadow puppets. There's Indonesia tradition is there are more Chinese Indonesian people, and you do see Indonesian shadow puppets. They used to be everywhere. They were in India, they were in Greece even.
Mm-hmm.
But most places I say the most vibrant one is Indonesia still. So let's see. I just have one more slide to share, and then I'll be done here. So let me just do that. Hopefully you can see this. And this is just my research page. I'm crazy, so I read a bunch of books. And one cool thing is the Museum of Natural History has this guy Laufer went to China long ago and collected a ton of shadow puppets. And you can look at them all online at this link here that I put in here. You have to go to that link and then look up Laufer.
Very useful. Thank you, Berthold Laufer.
Yep. And
Yes.
then in China, there's another museum that I put a few more links about. I think this one here talked about it a little bit. I don't think they have I think it's mostly a description of the museum rather than actual puppets. This one is particularly good. I use that to inspire myself sometimes, the one at the Museum of Natural History. Okay, I'm done. I told you to be short, and it's short. I'm done.
Thank you, Ralph.
Yeah, thank you, Ralph. That was eye-opening. No wonder you've been so busy, huh?
Yeah, I'm busy. Takes me about a day to make one of these puppets. It's actually not so easy.
I like the nine-tailed fox the best.
Yeah, they're pretty. That was my granddaughter's suggestion too. Apparently, Pokemon or somebody has a nine-tailed fox. Yeah.
I like the unicorn.
Yeah, that was my idea. So thanks.
All right. Let's see. Peo,
yeah.
you've got your Yangchun video, right?
Right. Yeah. Before I play my video, let me just say something quickly about my vision for the Qing Society, for the New York Qing Society. Because well, the New York Qing Society started in New York City, but it's great that we are no longer limited to just one place. And no matter where we are beyond the city, we can still connect online and share our learning experiences. And I would love to see a major event, like every year or every 2 years, perhaps a Qing journey led by someone like maybe Alan, whether within the US from the East Coast to the West Coast, or even from the Americas to Asia to meet Qing players around the world. Organizing concerts or panel discussions would also be wonderful, and I would be very happy to take part. That said, I know that large events are not easy to arrange, and strong connections are essential. In the past, thanks to Master Yuan Zhongping's leadership and Marilyn's network, we were able to organize in group trips to China and Washington, D.C. Now I hope Alan might lead a new Qing journey and bring people together for new experiences. And so that is my vision for the Qing Society. And today I like to share a short version of my Qing playing of Sunny Spring Yangchun. I will share a video. The video was created for this event 2 days ago. Because in the tradition we celebrate Yaji, right? Elegant gathering. We gathered in person, and then we would not only enjoy music but also the art of writing couplets, 写春联, to celebrate traditional culture and the arts. So because we don't have enough time, so I have arranged and shortened the Yangchun, the Sunny Spring melody, from 11 minutes to 7 minutes, and then combine my couplets, calligraphy writing. So let me first share the screen. Share screen. Okay. Here. Just a little bit.
Thank you, Peo.
美极了，真好，
Beautiful.
真好。
Thank you.
Very
Yeah,
nicely
that
done.
that was a silk string chain.
Silk string.
Not to mention excellent calligraphy.
And coordinated. That's marvelous. The whole thing together.
Yeah, I hope because I was thinking, how can we, playing the qin and do the calligraphy together online, right? It's kind of impossible. So I decided to make this video, put them together, and first record, videotape my calligraphy writing, so I cannot make any mistakes. If
But
I
it's
made a
timed
mistake, I have to
perfectly.
write again.
But you timed it perfectly.
Right, I have to actually. I use the software to make the calligraphy faster. Actually, make the video faster. Yeah, it's like double the speed. So I wrote really slow originally, and so in the video it's faster to match the music. Thank you. So that's my part.
You, it's really special. That's really nice.
Thank you.
John? I think John's next. Are you still wanting to present, John?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Right. I sorry, I wasn't here at the beginning. I needed to check with how I share screen for this, and my computer is acting really weird. I just lost. I've got two pictures, but one of them I just lost, and anyway, I could share a screen and do that, but it's just something on my website, so you can hear it anytime you want. I think maybe I played this last year at Chinese New Year. Does anybody remember? This was it's the only piece I know that has any connection with the New Year, and it's specifically about the Chinese New Year's Eve. And I think it's a melody that could be, with some work, made into something that's sort of exciting for New Year's, but is really more like a scholar contemplating what happened at New Year's and going home late at night and playing. But that's it's on my website if you want to hear it. I think it'd be too complicated to try to do it on share screen. I do have a question. Anybody here? I've been I really recently discovered, in a way, started using ChatGPT, which does rather amazing job of translating classical Chinese if you know how to guide it. It can make a lot of really stupid mistakes, and if you know it pretty well, it's really a great assistant. And so on my website, I've often had a lot of Chinese that I haven't translated, and which now people can just look at it and use one of the ChatGPT translation, and they do a great job of translating it. And I'm putting up a bit more of this of the original, but I need a good OCR for Chinese program. And the ones I've been using so far are really not very good for classical Chinese, especially if you're working with some old books. Is there anybody out there who's worked on this?
I still do this by the human process. More like a Qinpu Rex OCR. So it's not recommended you process sections with Qinpu there.
I'm not talking about Qinpu. I'm talking about, for example, there's an echo one.
I'm afraid Uni still has an echo, I think.
Oh dear.
There's some extended texts in the Taiyin Daquanji, which I've tried scanning, and they just make a lot of mistakes. And I'm just using a standard either Google or Apple program. And I wonder if there's anybody knows of a good, really good OCR for classical Chinese.
I don't know of one, but maybe if you ask the guys that run ctext.org, I'm pretty sure they use OCR for some of their stuff, so they must be up to date on what's happening with that.
Right.
They have to clean up a lot. Their OCR stuff so far hasn't been great.
Right. Yeah. But I haven't looked at anything they've done newly done recently, so maybe it's gotten better.
Well, I wouldn't put Google down. Google's pretty smart nowadays. They probably have their OCR is pretty decent, I imagine. It's not human. Of course, human can do better.
Donald Sturgeon, the guy that runs ctext, is, I think, very much on top of whatever else is going on. So writing to him directly or just ctext might actually be a good suggestion.
Right. That's actually an interesting thing about getting him interested in putting that on ctext. It's not, ctext hasn't done a lot with the old Qin documents, as far as I know. For example, Qin Shi Bu and Qin Shi Xu, which were done 100 years ago. The biographical dictionaries of early China supplementing the Qinshi and the modern one, bringing it up to the 20th century or late 19th century. Those, I don't think anybody's done any of those in OCR from those, put those online.
Yeah, they have one or two of the major Qin books. I forget which. I think it's the name should be on the top of my head as a Qin player, but I can't remember what it's called.
They probably have Meian Qinpu.
Yeah, I think that and the what's it called, the Shilutang something.
Shilutang, they might have the essays of that. The ctext can't put the Qinpu.
Yeah,
well, they try to do the Qinpu. It's quite humorous what they come up with.
They have the original calligraphy or whatever. You can access that, and if you want to learn a song or whatever, they have that available
on ctext.
Yeah, I learned. I forget what song it was, but one of those I got it off of that.
Huh. Anyway, that's Happy New Year, everybody.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John. Let's see, moving on. Dan.
It's me, yeah. Okay.
Chen Xiaoyin.
Yes. So, I've been playing the song for a while, and I always it seemed a bit strange because it's a song about spring, but it's so calm and has almost a darkness to it in a way, and I couldn't quite fit that together. And then it started to make more sense when I realized that it's like the spring dawn is like early spring, and so like if I'm in Montreal, if I look outside right now, it's like like Bai Shui would be an appropriate song. It's like there's snow, and so it makes sense that it has that calmness to it because it's the beginning of spring. It kind of makes me think of Lao Tzu talking about how things, they go into the ground and then they start to rise, and there's this sort of and then in the same chapter, I think it's maybe 16 of the Tao Te Ching, and it says, if you can let the muddy water settle and then it becomes clear and then things begin to rise. And so with that in mind, that's what I hear in the song now, is that it has that calm, and there's this like energy underneath it that's like just starting to come out from that calmness. And so that's how I hear it now anyway. So it seemed like an appropriate song. So let's give it a try.
Very beautiful, Dan.
Wonderful, Dan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Instrument is
Lovely.
really lovely too. Your sound is great.
Thanks. I use a Tascam sound card thing that helps with that, and my and I have this little double mics, whatever you call it, and the name of the brand is actually Boya, like appropriate for a chin microphone. I
Hey,
guess that's
Dan, you had a flute in front of your chin?
sorry, can you say that again?
I think he's talking about the shakuhachi.
Oh, it was a shakuhachi.
It's actually nanxiao.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's a xiao, and it's just that it has the root end.
What's the name of the double microphone that you just mentioned? I can't see the name.
So I'll kind of pull them out here. So I don't know if you can how well you can see that, but so it's got two mics, kind of like breaks off into two, so that you can have it on your lapel if you're giving a presentation. And
It's a type of lapel microphone.
What's it called again?
Lapel microphone.
Lapel, thank you. Yeah.
It's a little clip-on thing.
Yeah, there's a clip on it that I clip on here so it doesn't move. And I bought it from Amazon for really cheap, like I think it was 30 or 40.
And you have two of them?
So the one thing has two mics on it. So I have one mic over here, and then I have another one that's like closer to me, so I can talk, and it picks up. So I have one like under the chin, and then the other one next to it. So I get sort of like a dual, best of both worlds of the resonance. So.
But it was sold as a double-headed thing.
Yeah, I'll take it off here. See better. And
It's amazing that some of those little microphones can sound as good as they do now.
yeah, the rest of it's actually kind of tied up here, so I can't pull that out. But there's like a battery pack, so it's an active mic, and then there's kind of there's these two cords that are pretty long. Like you could probably get almost 10 feet away from each other.
Is your camera very close to your hand? Like, can you just put it right in front of the lens? Yeah, that's good. Oh, it's two little things like that. Oh, I see. Okay.
And I tied them.
Okay, I see. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. It's very good to know.
Yeah, Boya, B-O-Y-A. But again, I'm using a Tascam sound card. It's a US 366 model. So, that's going to make it sound better as well. But this was good for, 30 Canadian that I paid for it. So, yeah.
Way better than the sound card with most computers.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Seung-kit, I think you're next. Your software chin music.
I am next. Oh, okay. Okay, I was gonna look for this, but anyway, here it is. It's ready. Let's see this. This is a piece of work that was made for a university research project that I did during, the whole thing took 2 years, but I mean off and on during the time that it could be done as a media art project. So I'm gonna put on the software right away so you can get a listen and a visual of it, okay? What happened? I thought something happened. I think I shut it down by accident. One minute, 1 minute. Comment je peux démarrer là? So I put, where's the zoom? Here, I put zoom back on. Oh, the zoom is back on. Okay. Let me see. How do you do this? Okay, what should I do? I will put it on. I'll run it on a computer and then put a camera to it. This is how it works.
Share your screen.
Share screen, eh?
Yeah.
Share screen. Wait a minute. Excuse me. Can you see me now?
Yeah, down at the bottom of the screen is.
Yeah, do you see that green, the green arrow pointing
Green
up?
arrow.
It should be down below. Sometimes you have to put your cursor down below onto the window, and it should pop up.
Capture Kit Zoom Workspace.
You see where the participants in the chat.
Everything's gone.
Yeah, come
Wait
back
a
to
minute.
Zoom. Yeah, come back to Zoom. And
Maybe I'll re-sign in because I can't. Where is it? Where's?
You're using a computer, right?
Yes, I'm using computer.
Yeah, like Alan says, just push your cursor down towards the bottom of the Zoom window, and you should see a number of options.
Push it to the bottom.
You see that? And there's one that says share.
It'll
share. Capture.
So you push share. There's still a couple more things you have to do after you push that.
Film capture kit.
You see that?
No, there's nothing here.
I know, we may be in trouble.
Yeah,
Should be there.
Go back.
Film it. Okay, how about I re-enter? I'm gonna shut.
Okay.
I shut it down. Re-enter. Okay.
Not sure. Okay,
Shut. And then now, veuillez commenter quitter la réunion.
Okay, why don't we do the next one while we're waiting, I guess?
Yes, Michael.
Hi, yes, can you hear me?
Michael. Yes, loud and clear.
All right, great. And so Happy New Year's, everyone. It's been a while. It's been great to see everyone. So kind of as a brief background, in last January, about this time, I started working on developing some of my own shun out of different woods because I've always been a wooden instrument maker. I gave a presentation on my shamisen build a couple of years ago. So I've been diving into shun development. And I've kind of created my own style of wooden shun with various kind of standard keys now that I do. So this is kind of a collection of some of the different sizes and stuff for my personal collections, for everything from a little small soprano size one to a larger bass size one. So I'm going to be performing just the first part of Yangguan Sandier on one of my alto shun. This is one of my favorites in the collection. This is the only Chin song that I know how to play on the Shun, but the range of the song actually works out quite nicely with the range of the Shun. And these Shun are all 8-hole Shun. And you can get some extra notes with some, bending techniques similar to shakuhachi and shao. Not really a lot of information out there on the Shun in general. Seems like a very rarely played instrument, very rare to see people kind of playing this. Not much information out there. There's some kind of similar analogs like the Japanese Tsuchibue and the Korean Han, but still across the range and regardless of the culture, these kind of similar vessel flutes are pretty rare to see. So here's my kind of rendition of the first part of Yangguan Sandia.
Michael, we lost you.
Michael, please remember to turn original sound for musicians on.
We couldn't hear you, Michael.
What was that?
We couldn't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear it?
Yeah, is original sound on?
I didn't change anything from when we did the sound check. Let me see.
Maybe you started out okay. It could be we didn't notice right away.
Yeah, the beginning was fine.
Yeah, so we might.
Yeah,
have
it may have been
out.
the higher frequencies were getting cut out.
Okay.
So you need to turn on original sound for musicians.
Yep, I have that. And
get closer to your mic too.
Play something to the higher register and test.
Was it on all the time, or wasn't on originally?
Yeah, it's been on the whole time, and I have the high fidelity music mode checked.
You might have. There can be other problems. Sometimes there's noise reduction at a higher level on your system, but I don't know. Sometimes if it's at the Windows level, it takes longer to figure out.
Also, make sure that the automatically adjust microphone level is not checked, so that
that is checked.
Yeah,
uncheck that may help.
Okay.
Maybe try close to the mic. We'll just see. May or may not work.
All right. So yeah, I changed those settings. So I'll bring this a little bit closer, and I'll just play a high note just to make sure it reads. Nothing.
It's attenuated, I think.
Yep.
Let's try a different.
Have another mic.
I could hear at the beginning when you test the Zoom.
Yeah, it sometimes works. That happens though. Sometimes the noise doesn't kick in right away.
All right, let's change the microphone input. How's this?
No sound.
That's so
weird.
No sound at all.
Yeah,
or, like I say, you could try your phone again too. It's too bad we didn't pick it up in the beginning.
It's the same problem as I had right in the beginning.
Yeah.
Do you have a YouTube or video that have your recording? Maybe you can share your recording instead of playing live.
Yeah. Hold on. Actually, I do have. I am currently streaming in on both the computer because I have it set up for recording, and I also have the phone on for listening, so I can
Yeah, switch to the phone and see if that works.
Yeah, I'll switch to the phone.
Make sure you have original sound on there also though.
All right, I'll go grab that and set it up really quickly.
Okay, we'll see how. Maybe we'll take a look and see how Sunji is doing here. She's back.
Oh, if you want to see my thing, I'll just click on the sharing, right?
Right.
And then, okay, I am clicking on it now. Now,
You should see a window. Your windows, right?
yes, this is my Windows.
And you want to make sure you choose what's the right thing to say?
The screen or the window?
Share sound.
Okay, here we go.
Make sure you share sound. Make sure you say share sound.
Share sound, eh? We'll see.
It's
One
on the right.
second.
Yeah.
Okay, so this piece is called Pale Ink and Guqin. So the idea is to have many, absolutely all the sounds you could possibly make on a Guqin pre-recorded. And then we have a musician to decide what kind of rules they have. So the musician that I had was Mr. Teo Keng Chong from Singapore. He was in Hong Kong at the time. And Etienne Durand is a software writer.
Sorry, Tinky.
Can you see and hear?
So Michael is still on my screen right now. So he's
sorry, it might be my error. Sorry, let me see.
Yeah, let's take him off.
I took his spotlight. I had spotlight on. I took that off, but I don't see any sharing though. Sharing should override that. I think it's not shared.
It's not shared.
Yeah, try to share that again.
I've now spotlighted her, but she needs to share.
Yeah. So try to go to the share tab.
It says the host has put my video on already. Can anybody see it?
We can't.
Hello?
I can see your camera, but I do not see your screen.
You do not see the screen.
I suggest you just talk about it and play it. Yeah.
Okay, but one part of this is the graphics, eh?
Oh.
Il ne voit pas pourquoi.
Well, try sharing again. You have to.
Okay, we'll share again because it's not good if you can't see. All right, can you see my screen with the file names and stuff?
No.
I think so. You have to.
Okay, I will share again one time.
Yeah, and then you have to select
at the bottom of the screen. You have to push share. If you haven't pushed that button on the bottom.
There we go.
Oh, there it is.
Can you see it now?
Yay.
Okay, so now I'm gonna open the where's the projector? Here. Okay, here we go. So this is the first piece. It's called Pale Ink and Guqin. So this is trying to make Guqin instruments. It's an instrument itself because it has all the sounds that you could possibly make with a Guqin. So we have a master player, Mr. Teo King Chong from Singapore, who was at the time in Hong Kong, and Etienne Durand is the software engineer who wrote the software program according to the rules that Teo thinks that it's best to do this way. So I am just overseeing the whole thing. And I decided what kind of trigger I want to use. The triggers are the graphics that you see. So we're going to enter into it. So you see here floating, things appearing. These are all the different styles of Guqin you have. And each one is just sort of floating and appears, and after a few minutes it disappears, it fades out. And then at the same time, there's a series of random sounds that comes across. And what happens is I could click on it and drag it to have it hooked onto any of these other ones. So once it's hooked on, as you can see, there was a red, it triggers a sound. So if I get 10 together, 10 or a little bit more than 10, depending on. Once we have, let me see, I'm trying to get it together. So these are all woodcuts from an old book, from different types of books that I think is really nice as engraving. And I think I put color to it so that it's you can distinguish one from the other. And also I choose a color that's like the typical Chinese colors. They are not primary colors, but more like they're very pale ink type of shading. But pale ink actually came from a book that the Teal was talking to me about, and it concerns the old book Shanhai Jing. Shanhai Jing was actually it's a geography book about exploration. So I thought that's a pretty nice name. So I used that for this piece of work because the book is very old, the idea is very old, the whole ambience, the world that this thing brings you to is of that world. So now I think we have maybe 10 already, and you can, once we have enough 10, it will randomly generate a composition. There are 5 now here. And each composition would be different. Like it would not likely to repeat because there's so many zillions of combinations you can have. So usually each piece of music I date it by date. For example, the one that is generated now, I will name it 2025. The date today is February the 2nd. So this, and at 9 o'clock or something like this. So that would be the name of this piece. So when we first made it, we let it run for like 24 hours non-stop to see what it sounds like. And we were very excited. We didn't sleep and stay up all night listening to this. Okay, let's see if I could drag this.
Are we supposed to hearing any sound?
Not yet, because I'm just trying to add it together. Because once, maybe, sorry, I haven't looked at it in a long time.
So what's this interface supposed to do?
Well, let's see. If I get kind of like a pearl of 10 plus images all hooked together, it will make a piece of composition. Like it will generate but right now the sounds you hear are single pitch and tone with different intensities. Maybe I should use a mouse. It is so difficult. Because it doesn't seem to be.
So is the point for them to overlap, or is it?
No, each graphics has different hooks. So if you just drag it onto another one, it might fit together. And but the thing is that I have not been able to hook it easily now. So actually these graphics, because once it's hooked, it's associated with a special sound. So you can actually, it's like a composition that's random composition. What happened? Wait.
Can you make them disappear and restart?
I can get out of it and restart, but I can't. There's no setting, or maybe I will restart it again. 1 second, because let's see. Comment je fais? Escape. Okay, escape. Okay, so we start again. This time, I hope I could. Where's my mouse? Give me my mouse. It's easier. Done, souris. It wasn't my eye. I have easy. Ah. Done, souris. Okay, here we go again. So here we start. So this one is. So first you hear one sound.
We don't hear any sound anyway.
You don't hear any sound at all?
Oh, we have to.
Maybe you have to turn it up quite a bit because this is much
No,
more.
it's probably you probably shared without sharing sound. That's a classic
Right.
error.
Oh, sorry.
I don't think we can
Let me
see your
look.
screen
Let me
either at the moment.
You may have to-
Audio. Partage. Now, did it say sharing sound?
On the right side, there's a share sound option. You have to click that, or you don't get any sound.
I have the
sharing.
green button. It has 3 little round things, so it's.
No.
Let me see. 1 second.
This is when you start sharing. You're now sharing already.
Yes, and then where do I put the sound sharing? On the left, there's a little microphone thing.
No.
Is it here?
No. It's share sound. When you start to share,
Yeah.
on the right side it says options, and underneath that says share sound.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's when you start to share.
Yeah.
I think you
so
forgot
when
to
you
do
click,
that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
click,
I will
you
start
can't-
again. Sorry,
Yeah,
it takes
stop
a
sharing
lot.
and share again. Yeah.
Okay, I will share again. Shot.
Yeah, but that window that pops up, don't go anywhere before really sharing. You have to go to the options and then make sure that share sound is selected.
But it
Share
doesn't.
sound needs to be selected.
You're still sharing. You have to stop sharing.
Okay,
first.
I will stop the sharing, which is red. Track.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Now share again before I click.
Before you click on the bottom, make sure the share sound option is on the right-hand side.
Right-hand side.
Yeah,
Plus.
you see layouts, and then also options, right? So share sound is under options.
Share sound under option.
Options, yeah.
Option.
So make sure that it's selected with the check mark.
Okay, let's see. Partager, description and option. No, partager. Button gauche. Option, yes, I see. Partager. Okay, now it's done.
Okay.
Okay. I think it's okay now.
Yay.
Can you hear?
Yes.
Now we hear something.
Can you hear?
Yep.
Yes.
Very good. Excellent. Oh yeah. In first I hope that there's a pink dot. Yeah. No, c'est parce que.
You don't remember how to play.
Yes. No, I do. Wait a minute. I do. Tu vois? C'est facile. C'est starting.
Ça peut durer longtemps parce que tu as beaucoup d'objets.
Now it's interesting.
So as you can see, I put all kinds of fingering images, how people, the ambience or the furnitures you need. So it's unending types of graphics you could use. That's interesting because Guqin culture is also design, right? Sometimes, people like to have a certain type of clothing and certain type of incense burner. All this contributes to this quiet ambience.
But the image doesn't stop floating, right?
No, it just floats out randomly, but after maybe a few minutes, it fades out. So I think I must have at least started the piece now, because it seems like a lot of pictures. Huh? Where the Ted? Oh, this is the Ted, the fake pink. Oh. Continue.
Yeah.
So it starts now?
Yes, we can hear the melody.
Because there's this little round dot, this is the trigger. Once it has 10 together, you press on the button, it will play.
Okay, the music stopped.
Well, I guess there's a script.
Yeah, that might have been it might have been playing out a buffer. It might have been an error.
But I think we got the idea.
Yep.
Okay, anyway.
It's very interesting.
It's really beautiful when it, when we...
Oh, it started up again.
And we presented this in the first International Media Art Conference in Beijing. And they first built this really huge auditorium. It's like a maybe huge screen. And the effect was so good. And they had a really good audio system. So we were really amazed because we've never heard this one, It was really amazing.
That's nice. I just hope the floating can stop and make some scenery picture.
No, I think it's going to have to move around like that for it to generate.
Oh.
Why don't you like it floating?
Because I was imagining it will each one will locate it somewhere and then become a picture at the end.
I think the images interact with each other and generate the tones when they touch.
I see.
It's an old piece.
This is a very old piece of work. It's 20 years ago we made. If you want to see zebrafish, I'll show it to you afterwards, which is like this is an instrument. Zebrafish is a tune. It's like a jukebox. The zebrafish one is connecting phrases of Guqin, like the standard phrases in music, the back and forth, So in fact, you combinations to make a new song, so to speak. This is single tones, right? In a way, I think Guqin, if you were really playing it physically, you cannot play so many sounds together unless you have several chins, right?
Oh, I think the sharing must have stopped.
I'm still hearing it.
Oh, is it?
It's still working for me.
Oh, really? That's not
It
working.
is. But yeah, we get the idea. So basically, random bits of Guqin audio are triggered on visual cue. And unfortunately, it's not something you can save. It's just randomly generated.
Sure, you can save it.
We just saved it on Zoom.
Yeah, you can save it. You can save it, let it generate a tune or something. You make a record. Because not all tunes are interesting, right? They are more or less interesting. So I'll show you a zebra fish next. The only two work anyway. So might as well show it to you if you want to hear it. You want to see it?
Yes, please.
Okay, here, this one. Okay, zebra fish. Zebra fish. Okay, zebrafish. It's called zebrafish because it was funded by a biology department that wanted to, well, they use zebrafish to do scientific work, and they got this grant, and a person who has had the grant wants a piece of artwork that's done with it. So I postulated and they accepted me. So I proposed a zebrafish work, which is actually a pretext to do Guqin research. So I had another artist, a musician, Wang Duo. I think a lot of people know him. And Wang Duo's, after seeing the first bit of the pale ink work, his idea is to do phrases. So whereas the pale ink work can be exhaustive, like all the sounds are in, this different sentences of Guqin music is unlimited, really. So there is no limited thing. So the idea is at the same time doing a song is to have history of drawing. So all these zebra fish forms are from a piece of original artwork, and you can see it by clicking on it, for example. So the original is like this, and you can hear the sound also, just like the other one, and you also have the source of the thing. So it comes like this. So, and these graphics were done by 2 students because we're not supposed to work on it ourselves. We're supposed to do just the mastermind behind the project. So you see there's a little round dot here. This is going to be the trigger once we have the same Thank this one. Oh, this one is like a 5 and not 10. I would say. Yeah. And I have shown this work to like around the world to real musicians and also Guqin players. And because to me, I think a work like this has to pass by the players. If the players think it's good, it passed by them. And if where is the thing? Where? Here. La? Here. Oh, I see. Okay. So I wanted it to pass by both sides. Oh, yeah. Ah! Okay, here, I will do this. No, if we this. There's a brush bar. Normally the piece is around 3 to 4 minutes long. But it seems that I didn't connect enough. It's not yet.
I'm unable to see it though. I don't know if others are seeing anything at this
I
moment.
see it. I'm seeing it. I don't know.
Oh, that's so weird. I don't. It must be a glitch.
So far we are able to hear musical phrases around 15 seconds long so far.
Oh.
No,
Not bad
so
as a tech
the
demo.
composition is not yet made, but I have made records of it, so I could send you like recordings of it.
Yes, that would be great. Go ahead and actually email if you want, email everybody the links to your video.
Oh, I will upload it to a YouTube so you can see
yeah,
exactly.
perfect.
Actually, I've made a tape of it, but I cannot find it. So I will ask the computer to remake a composition, and I film it, and I do a new YouTube. That's from let's say today or tomorrow, so that you will have one, and then I'll send it to you.
All right.
I'll send the link or whatever the way we want to include it into the record of our evening, if you want.
Sounds great. Thank you, Sunki. That was a lot of fun, despite the
Okay, so I will.
Yeah, stop sharing now.
Okay, stop sharing. Okay,
there you go.
Go.
All right.
So Michael gets another turn, right? Sorry, Michael.
Yeah, Michael. Do you want to give it a try?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. So I'm gonna try the high notes again just to make sure. I made sure to check the musician audio thing is checked. So tell me if there's still issues or not.
Let's see.
Is that coming in through?
Uh-oh.
Only a tiny bit.
Yeah, it's still not so good.
I think we're in trouble. It's very attenuated. Very attenuated, yeah.
Faintly.
Why don't you just talk about them a little bit more? I'm curious about how you made them. I think we're in trouble with playing today. We'll have to figure it out later.
I'd like to see the embouchure on that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the way that these are made are I start with two halves. They're hollowed out on the inside. I cut the rough shape on the outside. Then they're glued, sealed on the inside, glued together. The outside is shaped, and then I drill the holes after I do the embouchure. There's different types of embouchures for shun. Kind of the really traditional one is just a straight hole down where you blow straight across like a bottle. It's very very difficult to play that. So the kind of more modern implementation is to have kind of a notched blowing edge, similar to like Kana or shakuhachi or stuff like that. So depending on the maker, you can have a very deep notch, you can have a very shallow notch. I have kind of a middle of the road type embouchure, or notch. So it's kind of a slight embouchure like that, which I find gives me a good balance between tone and playability. And all of them they're all 8-hole, and they all have the same fingering because it's a vessel flute. Like ocarinas, for example, the hole placement is completely arbitrary. You can have holes anywhere you want, and it's just about the ratio of open holes to the internal volume that gives you the note. It seems like there's very little standardization in terms of shun fingering. It really depends on the maker. So what I've done to make it kind of simpler is to just have a linear type fingering, similar to that of a linear or inline ocarina. So you just play, straight up the scale and back down, as opposed to some kind of more odd cross fingerings that I've seen kind of implemented. And if you know a little bit about the shun, you'll probably know that they're almost always made out of clay. I'd say like 99% of them are made out of clay. I've seen like 1 or 2 other examples of wooden shun, but they're very, 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 very rare, far and few in between. And I just focus on wood because I love making instruments out of wood, and I think it definitely gives it a different tone as opposed to clay. It's a distinctly kind of it has that classic shun sound to it, but it has a little bit of that woody flavor as well.
So send us a YouTube, and maybe you can play next time.
I do have a full YouTube channel with all these. If you look up Ready Musical Instruments, but I'll send a link. I have about several dozen shun playing videos that are recorded for various sizes and woods and stuff. So I can send a link to that.
Like, do you have a recording of the 2 different kinds of sound side by side, like a regular shun sound and the wood shun?
Sorry, switching. I had my phone, and my phone died. Right in the middle of that because I had it on for so long. So I do not have a clay shun myself for comparison. I've just been focusing on just the wood ones. So I don't have it, but definitely hearing the recordings and kind of what I've kind of in cross comparisons between other vessel flutes like ocarinas, for example, which you can find in clay and wood. There's definitely a distinctly different tone between the clay and the wood.
Actually, I have a clay one that was made by this guy from Beijing, and he has made it out of a special clay, not the regular clay, because he wanted to standardize the shuns. So his shuns comes into like key of F or whatever like that. I think it's on my shelf. If you want to look at it, if you can hang out just for 5 minutes, I'll get it. I didn't think of maybe 1 second. I shouldn't fall through them. 1 second.
On my personal blog, you can see pictures of my clay shun.
Yeah, and kind of what's different about the shun that I make in addition is, if you can tell, they are less globular. They're kind of more kind of flatter and oval type size. And I did that. That's partly just in the process of how I make them, carving them out of wood. It's much easier for me to do this way. But also I find that it's much more ergonomic for playing, because with the like really globular type shun, you have to kind of support it like this, and it's a little bit more you can't move very fast with the shun. It's
They look
typically very
little
slow.
more user friendly.
Yeah, so by shifting the fingers more in a linear fashion and keeping it as a kind of a little bit flatter profile, you can play much more rapidly, more modern type stuff on it as well. So I find, at least for my efforts, that's made it a little bit different in terms of comparison with more classical.
It's a very good idea.
Are you able to share a video?
Yeah, sure. If there's time, I can get a I guess I can share. Should I just share a link, or should I
Yes,
share my screen?
share your screen and let's hear the sound.
Okay. Let's see the where's the okay, share screen.
We're gonna share sound.
Yep, share sound. I'm clicking that now. So, all right. So I guess you can see my screen.
Yes.
All right. So,
look at this.
So, let me find the. I actually have Yangguan Sandier. Let's see, on one of the other shun that I made. It's actually a deeper bass shun that I made for my daughter for her 5th birthday. Her favorite colors were purple, so I made it out of purple heart, and I inlaid some green crushed malachite because she likes green. So let's see, where is
These seem very fancy.
Yeah, these are kind of made as a more kind of higher end wooden type.
We see it. We see it. Keep going down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Party at Yangguan Gate.
That's one. Let's see.
It's okay. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, so I have 2 recordings, one by the sea and then one by just in the kind of recording, if anyone has a preference.
We'll take the B3.
Okay. So that was what I was going to play. So you kind of get a sense for it.
Sounds really beautiful. I also like the color.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the fun things about wood is there's just so many quite incredible woods out there with all these different colors and variations that you can really it's like other wooden instruments like guitars, ukuleles, other flutes and stuff. The sky's the limit in terms of what you can do with the different woods.
So I found a shun. If you want to look at it, it is in a box like this.
Mm-hmm.
And he has all this explanation thing, and the shun itself looks like this. It's made of not ordinary clay. This kind of, I think it's a kind of a polymer. But I don't play the shun. I mean, he just gave me this so that I can show somebody. So you're the first person I show to since 20 years ago. So
So it actually
it's got,
looks like he has the very open, the big traditional mouthpiece, which that's going to be really, really hard to play the high notes, especially
Yeah.
the bigger the opening, the more you get a stronger low end, but the high end becomes progressively much more difficult. So if you can see, conversely, the hole in mine is really small. That allows me
I
to
see.
the finger hole is very small, and that also you have to have a little bit tighter embouchure, but it allows it to be much more balanced in terms of playability. You can get the high end much more readily with less airiness than with a really wide open mouthpiece.
You play very, very well too. You've been doing a lot. This is what my opening on my shun that I
I can
play a
only
lot.
make this up. But it doesn't have this very warm, woody sound that yours has.
Yeah, the wood definitely kind of gives it a little bit of warmth. I wouldn't say that clay or wood is better than the other. It's just a different feel. So whatever, whatever feel you prefer. One thing that is nice though is that the wood ones are very light. Even the
Yeah,
larger,
that's right. I just noticed this. This is
yeah, even the
heavy.
larger base one that I have, it's pretty light. So that's kind of a benefit. And if you drop it, it's not going to shatter, which is kind of a nice benefit.
I do notice that it still has that slightly metallic overtone that you find with clay as well. I think
Yeah.
it may just be a characteristic of a vessel flute.
Yeah, I think, yeah, especially for the shun, because you're blowing across that kind of sharpened edge, you have kind of turbulence on that airstream, and the resonance of the instrument, I think, maybe amplifies a little bit of that kind of overtone that you hear.
I've just come to accept it.
Yeah, no, I think that's just part of the timbre of it.
I have to say the traditional one with the regular hole is one of the harder ones to play of my flutes. It's really hard.
Yeah, the shun is definitely, I think,
Yeah.
for an end blown flute, it's definitely one of the more challenging in terms of embouchure. I've done like I've tried shakuhachi, danso, kena, a bunch of other ones, but the shun definitely requires the tightest embouchure to really play well. It's a lot of a lot of development in the lips and cheeks that you typically don't use.
And there's so many variations in the way the embouchure is produced in every instrument.
Yeah.
You have to learn every instrument.
Yeah. So each maker is going to be radically different in how you have to play the instrument.
But I wonder the shape of the shun, if it's rounder or if it's more oval shape, would it influence on the sound quality? Like a flute, a straight flute is not the same as a round flute, right?
The
In a
total
way.
volume has a lot more to do with what tones you get.
Yeah, and
Oh, I
I
see.
think in my experience, like kind of comparing the two, like so I have two altos here. The shorter one is an E4, the taller one's an E flat 4. So besides this one being different, what I've found is kind of the taller, narrower profile gives a little bit more bodily type tone is how I describe it. So kind of more blowing across a bottle, whereas the short, rounder one kind of has a little bit more kind of a rounded tone. So it's a little bit different. I kind of like both. I don't have a preference really, but I think at least the taller ones kind of impart a little bit different texture. They still sound very similar, but it's there. I think there is some difference in the shape.
It would be interesting to put an opening in the bottom of one of your instruments, not a large one, but a fairly large one compared to your finger holes. I may do that myself at some point.
And if you want to make very low sound, would you have to make a very big shun, or is
They
like
go,
how?
they definitely can get deeper, but one of the nice things about the shun compared to other flutes is for a given size, the shun is really deep. Like for example, this shun is actually the key of C3, I think, or C4.
It'd be
I keep
C.
not getting.
I think it would be C3 from
Yeah,
what I've heard.
C3. So an equivalent for like an ocarina, for example, which is another type of vessel flute, it's literally like the size of a football. So the shun for the whatever the mechanics are blowing across this kind of open end really gives it a very deep tone for the size. So you don't actually have to get super big to get really deep. And I think there's definitely a limit because the bigger the volume, the more air you have to push across it. And at some point it becomes just too difficult to play well with really big ones. I have seen some videos of people with really massive ones, but you become kind of limited in playability.
You have to hold it up too.
Yeah, that gets very, very heavy.
Can I ask
Oh
about?
yeah.
I also have a shun, and I find the biggest difficulty for me is the volume. Like I can't really it's like on a xiao you can go really quiet, but on a shun you can't really get that quietness, or can you? I don't know. I'm not a great player, so I don't know.
I think it definitely has to do with technique and design. Like I find on mine, I can play very, very quietly and I can play with more volume. I do think that part of that is with how the embouchure is shaped, but also I think it's also probably a bit technique as well. But I do think that the shun design definitely contributes to its dynamics.
Okay, yeah, because the one I got was it was actually thrown in as like a gift when I got my Guqin. And what was really strange about it too, though, is that it had this terrible smell inside, and I did all kinds of stuff to get rid of it, and I worry that there was, I don't know, some kind of factory dust or something in there. And every time I play it, I'm a little bit worried to like, inhale, and I don't know if you know anything about how that happens.
That's probably just whatever, if they're using like some cheap lacquer or something kind of to seal the inside, is my guess.
Yeah.
Is it clay or is it wood?
Clay, the one that I have, yeah.
Well, you could wash it out.
Yeah, I did, and it still smelled. And then I tried like smoking it with like moxa, I think, to try and change the smell. And like I just like turned it upside down with some moxa smoke and then it just tasted like an old cigarette butt. But it was
hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah, actually, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll give that a try.
You say it smells. What kind of smell is it? Like does it smell like something?
Like a barn. Like it smelled like animal bedding or something.
Oh, animal. So it's kind of organic smelling.
Like straw maybe.
I guess like straw and like
cow dung,
goat butts or something, like I don't know, it's just really, really
It's
off.
possible if it's a
yeah, I said that too. You wrote it.
Because I know there's a lot of Asian ocarina makers that do kind of a straw-fired clay type finish with their instruments. So it's possible that that process and during the firing might be imparting kind of that smell to it in that case.
Good.
I fire mine in acacia charcoal, and I don't find them offensive.
Okay, somebody said that that's a normal, that the goat smell is normal with certain clay. Interesting.
I think that was Mandy. She has several.
Okay.
Mandy loves her streams, definitely.
Would you consider dunking it in, let's say, a vat of Javex or something?
I mean, I could. I didn't really pay anything for it, and as long as it's going to be okay to, well, actually, no, maybe not Javex. I suppose if I rinse it but I don't want to inhale Javex
Yeah, I
as
feel
well,
like if
so I'd
it's
have to rinse it good.
if it's fully fired, it should be fine. But I do remember that my teacher had one of those really just lightly fired shoons, and as soon as you wet it, some of it would rub off, and so it wasn't completely fired, at least not well. But it was a very interesting sound because it was a very how would you say? It was a very soft but very full sound, and I think if one had fired it more, that sound would be completely gone. But I should actually ask my teacher about that. Yeah.
There was apparently like a second chamber in this one to give it a different resonance. So I wonder if maybe that second chamber they couldn't fire it the same level or something.
This one has a secondary chamber built into it. This is a commercial shun.
I think that's the same that I have. Yeah.
It's a kind of porcelain clay. You could rinse it with anything, and because it's as glassy as it is, it wouldn't retain whatever liquid. But hydrogen peroxide is safe.
Actually, if you put Javex, you don't have to like put pure Javex, because I remember the SARS thing for disinfecting the bacteria. It's just 1 part Javex to 99% of water. So actually, you just need to put very little. Once the bacteria is destroyed, there will be no smell.
Okay. Yeah, I'll experiment with those.
Can you spell that chemical? How's that spelled? Javex?
Huh?
How do you spell Javex?
Javex, yeah, that's right. Javex. It's actually a bleach. You know, you can get it in any supermarket.
It's
Javex is just a bleach.
It's a hydrogen. It's a hydrogen-based bleach.
Yeah, it looks like Clorox.
It's for people to put a little bit in your laundry so your laundry doesn't smell. So it's just for that purpose, and kind of to generally kill bacteria. And also sometimes people have clothing that's discolored or kind of not very white, so you put just very little bit, like 1 thimble in a bath, in a big pot of water or something, and it will remove the color and also the smell and all that. But not pure. I was just exaggerating a bit when I said.
Okay,
but to kill bacteria, which is the smell, 1 to 99, that was the formula.
Well, I think next time we'll have to make maybe a Xun and a Xiao Yaji of some sort, because these are I think a lot of people are excited about the Xun and the Xiao. Besides playing Qin, I tell most of my students, if you'd like to, you should practice the Xiao, because we're always sitting on our butts, and it's good to sometimes exercise the lungs, right? And practice the breathing, right? Breathing exercise. So
absolutely, I absolutely agree.
Yeah, it's a good balance to just sitting and playing the Qin to train the breath. But anyway, I think we're almost at time.
Yep, we're way over time. But...
Yeah, so let's in closing, thank you for all the presentations. Yeah, it's been wonderful. And I guess we will see everybody in about 2 months.
Hooray!
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming.
All right, Happy New Year.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.